Hello and welcome back. Today we are cooking yet another soup. I know, it's a whole month of them. We're doing two a week. Today we've got, let's see, the paleo and keto ramen, which I think just means technically that if you're following more of a Paleolithic kind of diet, this is great. And if you're following more a ketogenic type of diet, this will be great for you. Technically, it's low carb. All right, that's the take home. Now, I've got a couple fun things about this particular recipe. Number one, haven't done it before. Number two, I've never done a ramen myself. I love to eat ramen, and a way to make that more low carb, or like we say, paleo or keto, is to use these little bad boys. There are different kinds. There's konjac, it's shirataki. I'm probably slaughtering that word, but it's a different kind of flour and it has 0 carbs. And this particular one, this konjac, I think I'm saying it right, is a prebiotic. Because there's probiotics, which are the little bugs in your system, and the prebiotics are what feed those little guys. So this helps feed those. And word to the wise, or word from the wise, they're stinky. So you want to rinse them off a couple times before using them. And I don't know why the stinky. I think it's just the liquid that happens as it's been sitting in these packages. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of that. But before I do, I just jumped right in and start telling you all this stuff. And I didn't introduce myself. I am Samantha Graber, also known as Dr. Sam. This is my channel. We are doing a creative kind of side project that's turning into a main project. And that is what we're calling Roxo Test Kitchen. This is where I'm going to be taking some of our favorites and viewers' favorites and clients' favorites and making them a more low carb version. The idea behind that is to help keep our carbs below whatever our threshold is, so we can actually flip our metabolic switch into fat burning, which is where we are creating ketones, aka ketogenic. Stick with me, I'll learn you up on a lot of things, and I've got something really fun to share today. I am one of these people that likes the murder mysteries, big time. SVU, Law and Order, all that stuff. I haven't solved a murder mystery this week yet, but I have solved a food mystery. Stick with me, be right back. Alrighty, while that drains, because I have to rinse it a couple times and really let it drain well. While that's draining, I am going to prepare the steak. Oh, I love this. Now with this particular recipe, you can use steak, you can use chicken. I suppose you could use a really good meaty fish, shrimp, scallops if you're not allergic like some people over there. Anything that really strikes you, just keep in mind you don't want to overcook it. So like for steak, I'm going to have it at a nice, almost rare. I kind of, when people ask me how do you like your steak, I want it still mooing, basically, because I love it like that, especially if I know I'm getting a good cut of steak. So today I'm not going to cook it too much, but I am going to start while we're waiting for those noodles. Okay. Now, something fun that we did, and actually Tyler did, we got a full shoulder from the cow, and he broke that down into the different steak cuts and then did a bunch of ground meat. And we'll go ahead and do that on our channel sometime for you all, because it'll be fun to, I left my scissors over there. It'll be fun to be able to, let's see if my sous chef will bring these to me. Thank you. Anyway, it'll be fun to show you how to use the grinder, because I think sometimes we overanalyze, at least I know I can, and sort of overthink how difficult something will probably be. Whereas when we just go ahead and do the darn thing, it's a whole lot easier than we might have thought. And when it comes to food prep like that, you can save a ton of money. So there's some little fun things to look forward to. Not exactly sure when we'll do that, but it'll be sometime in the next probably couple months, because we're going through our meat pretty quickly. All right, so let's see. Let me grab a fork. Dishwasher was going off. All right, so I'm gonna pull this out. All right, I think, how much we got? Hello, where's the steak? Oh, 1 pound. Okay. My rule of thumb is always over provide the protein, so I'm going to do 2 of these. Okay, so that's probably about 1.5 pounds. Yay, that works. this over here, put you there. I am going to just season these guys. And then I will put them in the pan. Let me get that heated up. I'm gonna use a little bit of butter. Where'd I put my butter? Here it is. All right, just had a full day thinking of things, coaching, and in all that great brain mode, and then come out here and cook. And sometimes I feel like I'm just kind of, it takes me a moment to get started, but I'm revving up. Okay. So I started with a smaller pan and I realized it's not the right pan. So we're going to switch over now to a cast iron and add our yummy butter. So, okay. All right, while I'm waiting for the pan to heat up enough to cook the steak, I'm going to chop up, just do a rough chop to some fresh mushrooms that we got at our local farmers market. Now they're a couple days past, but they're a little dehydrated. But the neat thing about getting fresh mushrooms is, number one, especially if they're grown local, then they don't have as far to travel. But it's just a really good way to get a different texture. And it says 1 ounce, but if you're catching on to me already, you know that, as I just mentioned, I like to put in extra protein. So I'm going to put in extra of these mushrooms because they have all sorts of neat little micronutrients that we may not get in other ways in our diet. So I'm going to chop these up first, and then we'll season these and add them to our pan. And remember, I'm just going to basically nicely sear these just to lock in those good juices. Okay, so we're going to add a little bit more butter because we can and we have it. Let's do it. Now we're getting there. Okie dokie, we're gonna let that cook for a while. Remember, we're just kissing it with this sear so we can lock in the juiciness. So we're gonna slice it after we let it rest. Okay, so we're cooking up these mushrooms just to brown them a little bit while we're waiting for our pot to boil. There we go. Actually, I'm gonna take these out. Okay, so let me just show you what these konjac or the shirataki noodles look like. They're just kind of a little translucent. So now we've rinsed them a couple times. I'm going to place them in this boiling water once we've got a good rolling boil. Just a couple minutes, just take the edge off them, and then we'll redrain them, recolander them, redrain them, and be ready to roll. Okay, a little salt. And now we're ready to pour this in. Okay, I'm gonna give that a couple minutes. And like I say, this just takes a little bit of that odor off them, the slick off them. And that's just something the way they're shipped. And we'll get this taken care of. Okay, that's enough of a boil. Switch her over here. All right, so now we're gonna dry them just a smidge. Got that here. Okay, that's just getting more of that liquid off of them. This one's still warm. Okay, so now we're going to use our sesame oil. Where are you, coconut aminos? Here we go. Can't tell if this is open yet. Oh, no, here we go. Okay. I didn't think we'd used it yet. Okay. This in our pot. And yes, I could accurately measure but I'm going to give myself just an eyeball, 2 tablespoons. There we go. Get everything else ready. We've got our garlic and then our fresh grated ginger. A little cheat here. For the fresh grated ginger, you can grab this ginger paste. It's in most grocers. If you look in just the produce section, you'll see a bunch of them. There's, you know, Italian seasoning, parsley. I don't think there's rosemary, but ginger, some garlic paste at times as well. You can also grind or grate your own. It does smell amazing, but with the amount that we use it, this is really handy because it just stays better in the fridge. All right, so we got 2 teaspoons of that, our garlic. All right, warming up. And this is just our garlic that we grind up in the food processor and then freeze in little ice cube trays. I'm going to do a half of that. It smells good. It's amazing how good sesame smells. And this is 2 teaspoons. So I figure a teaspoon is about let's see, 1 tablespoon fresh ginger, 1 tablespoon paste. Okay, they're equal. I think a teaspoon is about an inch of this. So we're going to call that my Samantha math. How about that? There we go. A little more posterity. And let's get this mixed up. Okay. I'm going to take that off the heat for just a moment because it sounds like it's good and hot and I have to step away from it and I don't want to mess it up. Tamari vinegar and fish sauce. Okay. And fish sauce. Okay. All right, I'm going to get a little more specific for these guys. So we're going tablespoon, tablespoon, tablespoon. So 3, 2, 2. Okay. So now we'll bring this back. We need 3 tablespoons of this. And I'm using coconut aminos instead of soy sauce or tamari. I just find that it's just a little better when we're doing the paleo or trying to keep things more on the low carb, because believe it or not, soy sauce often has wheat in it. Wheat, W-H-E-A-T. I don't know if that's coming out right off of this. 2 and 3. There we go. Smelling amazing. And 2 and 2. Okay. Kind of making our own special, like a teriyaki sauce almost. 1 and 2. And can she open it? Oh. And 2. All right, very nice. My little expose here. I got to thinking about this. You know, we buy broth, you know, whatever the brand is. These are from a 4-letter grocery store. And it's fine. You know, you buy this and you think, all right, cool, it's ready to roll. And then I got to thinking, bouillon. I took French a couple years in high school. Don't recall much of it, but I remember the word bouillon. And I was pretty sure it's like just the distilled down, dehydrated broth, right? So then I got to thinking, you know, the big box store, I don't know, Sam's Club, you can buy a ton of bouillon, and each one of these makes 1 cup, right? So this is 4 cups of broth, and this is like 400 little bouillon thingies. Let's see how many. 227. All right, I exaggerated. 227. So 227 of these would be like that refrigerator probably into here. So what we're paying for is literally water and a nice carton that probably isn't recyclable. So it really got me thinking about environment, and we talk about our carbon footprint and the fact, like, I'm trying to turn over all of our, or swap out all of our home cleaning products for things that are not already constituted or, you know, added to water. And it got me thinking, I'm probably just way overpaying, Plus, there's more of an environmental impact of something like this than, say, 4 of these little guys. So I didn't prepare ahead, but probably from now on in many of our videos, you're going to see us making our own, because really all it is adding water. And it's probably just tap water. These little stinkers are probably charging us a lot, like, I don't know, a couple few bucks for one of these versus a couple few cents for one of these, plus whatever water. Something to think about. You heard it here, right? Okay, so now we're going to add this in, as I'm getting all worked up from my expose up again. Get these guys in their bath. There we go. Like, the longer it can sit in there, just like everything, the longer it has exposure to all the goodness. Okay, I'm gonna let that get nice and warm. And while that's happening, we will slice up this beef. And do just little thin slices. I'm thinking we're obviously not going to use a knife with our soup, so I don't want to be making these a big mouthful. I'll probably come through and do a half as well. All right, so getting this all sliced nicely. It's very tender, so I'm going to just keep rolling here, and then we'll make this a little more bite size. So still nice and rare, just like I like it. You can, of course, cook it to whatever your preference is. But I do urge you, try when you've got a good piece of steak, good beef, try going a little rarer and rarer so that you get some of those good enzymes out of it. And just a little maybe more nourishing. There we go. There's one, and we're gonna do 2. And I've got their attention, I'll tell you. If you've not seen our pups yet, and maybe you're new to the channel, be sure to like and subscribe, please. And we'd love to hear any comments about recipes that you like to do, whether it's low carb, or if maybe you've got a recipe that's a favorite and you're thinking, man, how do I make this low carb? Yeah, let me know in the comments. I'd love to help you out. And maybe if it's something that we find interesting too, we'll end up doing it on one of our shows. All right, a couple more here. I'm just kind of feeling for the ones that feel kind of a little chewy, like they'll be chewy. Nothing worse than going in to take a bite of steak and you're like, chew, chew, chew. Speaking of, we went to a steak cook-off, or the steak cook-off. It's a local here in the Northwest Panhandle, Florida. We were at the steak cook-off, and it's awesome. And then every once in a while, you get a little chunk of it, and you're sitting there trying to have decent manners in front of all these people. Like, you just gotta take that chunk out of your mouth, spit it out. Anyway, I try not to do that as much to people that I'm cooking for. I'm gonna let this heat for a little bit longer. I'm not gonna put the steak in until just almost the last minute, just really to heat it up. But let's add in these ramen noodles. Oh, that was lovely. Okay. Probably a more tactful way to do this. So just trying to get it done. Give this a nice stir, and let's let it just sit for a bit. I'm going to work on our add-ons. So I'm going to slice up the scallions or the green onions. And back. Okay, so different add-ons. We went with scallions, and then we did a soft boil of these eggs. Hopefully they worked out just right. If they're a little harder, no big deal. If they're a little softer than we maybe wanted, no big deal either. The fun thing about cooking is you just get better and better each time you try something. So we're doing those. That's it. Let me get these done first. And these eggshells are perfect for the compost garden. If you have one. You can also just grind them up. Some folks, it's hard to get off. Okay, some folks will just grind them up in like a like a spice grinder, and that's a great amendment for your soil, even for your houseplants. Oh, this feels like it's going to be good soft boil. If I don't hack it to death. Oh, nice. You're a masterful soft boiler eggs. Anyway, soft boiler of eggs. Send us your tips. Put them in the comments if you would. This one got hacked a little bit. Not bad. See there. The other thing is you might get it just right, but if there's something with the shell, fast to cool it down, if it's easy to peel. I'm trying with my very delicate ability to peel these gals. Making them look like hacked to death. Cool. So you might see that these are in water. I think, what the heck is she doing? Helps them stay fresher, and it also keeps those roots alive so that if you want, you can just cut these off at the white, or maybe maybe a couple inches up, and then you can actually re-root these. Kind of a cool thing. So we are going to do that because you never have enough of these guys. Just pull a couple of these off. Compost. Okay. Now I'm going to make these, instead of going just for little small bits, I'm going to go a little bit larger than I usually do, just so we can see them in there and enjoy the flavor. Put the onion in, and then we'll put our steak in, and then I believe we are ready to roll. Actually, I'm going to wait till the end. Come on, I'm reading directions. Let me get our bowls out. Since there's just 2 of us eating tonight, I'm going to start with this one bowl, and then we'll add the other. Now let's get some of these good looking noodles. That smells good. Definitely get the hint of sesame, but it's not overpowering like sometimes sesame can be. It's really tasty. Turn that off. All right, now for the pièce de résistance. So we've got our mushrooms, our noodle, and then that amazing broth. I'm gonna add a few of these in here. Let's add in some of this really good looking steak on the side. Okay, and use this one. Okay, so now I'm ready to slice into this less mangled soft-boiled egg. I'm just going to do a really good gentle slice. Oh my gosh, it is beautiful. Look at that, folks. How can she do this without killing it? Boom. Look at that. Oh my gosh, I'm excited. That's like that looks like the picture. It's amazing. First time. Good job. Let me get my hands cleaned a little bit. Okay. All right, let's give this a shot. Try the broth first. To die for. That is so good. All right. Let's see if I get a little bit. This. Don't use your fingers out in public, but use your fingers at home. It's fine. So good. Okay, now hold on. That broth is amazing. I don't care if it is reconstituted or whatnot, but adding all that other stuff in is so good. But I forgot to tell you, when you do your noodles, you can cut them up a little bit. Otherwise, it's just long string of noodles. Just a little easier for eating. I'm just going to keep eating this, and I'm going to make it like I'm not done recording yet, and I'm just going to keep eating because this is really tasty. I did not expect it to be this good. Mhm. All right, I won't make you watch me. Just one second though. I didn't want to be rude and just peace out without saying thank you so much for being here. And like I say, if there's anything you wonder about or you want to riff about this whole bouillon versus broth, paying for water and fancy cartons, I'm all about it. Meet me in the comments. Until next time, take good care of yourself and each other. Bye for now.